We are here in Dtalks, and today's subject is something very new for me, and I'm assuming that it's interesting for you. We have Kalna Shukla with me, and she has been studying sports psychology. In India, there's a dearth of people who have taken this non traditional profession in terms of education and then in terms of career. Kalna herself, she did her post graduation in Ahmedabad, and now she is in UK studying the same at the college.
Loughborough University.
Yeah. There are many people from that university working in India with Prakash Padukone's
Sporting
Academy. And a lot of people who want to make their career in sports and who are dealing with a lot of stress in life would eventually at some level would require this kind of professional help that Kalna is studying for and prepping for. I wanted to start this interview with Kalna asking you that you as a child learned karate. You were a karate kid, and then you've been regularly been hitting the gym and pushing yourself to achieve new goals in terms of your own fitness before stepping into this profession. Your father is a tennis player. What has been your reason? Where could you see that this is an important thing to explore? Not just in terms of अरे इंडिया में बहुत सारे लोग नहीं हैं तो ये this is an easier way out to kind of have a unique profession. Like for an example, I am an RJ, and there are not too many RJs in the country, right? So it is surely something beneficial to me. But that's something that I realized much later when we stepped into radio. There were very few of us, and that's nobody had faith in us. Like we also didn't know where we would go. So this is now helping us as a benefit, but it didn't initially. So what was your reason to kind of step into this really new and untraveled professional career?
So I already had
less traveled rather.
Right. So I already had my interest in psychology, and I also loved sports. And when I saw that the two can be combined, I knew that I wanted to do sports psychology. But at the same time, when I started doing psychology, I started learning about it. I kept reading in the newspapers that there are challenges that athletes face, and there are challenges that coaches face, and as a country also there is this potential in our athletes, the Indian athletes, that can be explored. So as a very young kid, I felt that maybe there is this whole element of psychology, that mental toughness in these athletes that needs to be pushed.
Did you need it when you were pushing yourself?
Yes, I definitely.
Which is that one moment that you can remember, you can go back to your life and say that I needed it here? I mean, I'm sure you needed it at many a times, but
right.
Which was like the toughest?
The toughest was when I was supposed to study sports psychology in the States, but unfortunately I had to postpone it. And there was this whole 1 year where all my plans had failed. All the plans that I had made, that I'll go and I'll start studying and I'll whole career will start rolling, all my plans were squished. I had nothing to do, and that is exactly when I had that time to counsel myself, to apply all the knowledge that I had about psychology to myself, and see that actually these things work.
They help
you.
And physically,
when I hit the gym, I think I need the most amount of support to myself, that what I'm doing is for my own good, and persisting. That is exactly when I need.
There was an interesting thing that you just mentioned, that sports psychology is needed for athletes, but you also mentioned for coaches.
Yes.
Right? So there must be three kind of people who would need it in terms of your professional help, which would be the player, the coach, and the parent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So do the professionals in India and outside work for all these three segments?
Yes, they do. Because so basically how the whole profession of sports psychology work is that we act as a bridge. So there are times when there is a miscommunication happening, or there is some kind of an emotion that doesn't get passed on to, say, the parent or the coach cannot openly communicate or express what they expect from their athletes, or parents feel that, my child is not understanding what he or she is supposed to do. So that is where we come in, try to sort and smooth things out, and also at the same time bring and make sure that all three of these work together in sync.
There are challenges that Indian players or kids who want to explore sports would face in terms of parents saying that, is this a sustainable income possibility?
Right.
Why do you want to make this choice? Are you so not interested in sports? In education? A lot of kids actually are not interested in education, that's why they go into sports, and then there are many other who actually are more interested in sports, and that's why they can't focus on education. There are also colleges and schools that give you leaves and give you special benefits if you're playing for them, and those are also the lucrative reasons why people would want to get into sports. In all of this, do you see currently Indian parents being enough supportive to their children's dreams if they want to be athletes?
Yes. In the recent times, there has been a spur of enlightenment for how important or how useful it is if a child comes up to you and says that I want to be a sports person. So in today's time, it is, I would say, a bit easier for the children to say that I want to be an athlete.
In comparison of when Sachin would have told his parents,
exactly,
or Virat would have told his parents,
yes,
or Saina would have gone to her parents.
Yes.
Okay. But majority, I still feel, most of the people are either very easily, अगर पढ़ाई में अच्छे हो तो साइंस ले लो, थोड़े से ऑर्डिनरी हो तो कॉमर्स ले लो, बहुत ही बुरे हो तो आर्ट्स ले लो. Like I remember when I wanted to do arts, and I had scored about 93% in my boards, and my entire cousins group had this whole thing saying, are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? And I had to change the school also, and anybody you tell them you have to change the school, that means either you've kind of failed or there's some problem. Your school has till 12th you can study there, why do you have to change it? So this is a traditional module that most of us are facing. So what kind of prep parents require if their children are showing signs of being good at sports?
Right. So as a parent, one of the key things that you can do is support and be there for your child, and support in a way which is independent. That, so an example of this is, you do look over your child, but try and not to control them. Let them take the decisions, let them choose what is right and what is wrong for them, and at the same time teach them to own up to their failures, and teach them that
stand by them but let them own it.
Exactly. And if parents are controlling their child, and always going up to, say, coaches and saying that why isn't she the captain, why didn't he get a chance to hit the goal, so such controlling situations put more pressure on the child, and it's much difficult to perform when
it's
there's
also
pressure.
Embarrassing to take such parents out.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, as honest as it can get.
Definitely.
With whatever willingness that the parents have to help the kids. In recent times, from Virat Kohli to a lot of sports people have mentioned about their depression. Deepika Padukone is a daughter of Prakash Padukone, who has been such a popular sports person, and still Deepika went through a very bad lull in her best of the time of the prime career days, and while she was winning all the awards and going through this. India already has a very strong taboo about talking about mental health awareness, or even mentioning to people that there is a problem. What is the time when a sport person or an athlete or the parent or the coach need to realize that now they need a professional help? When is the right time for professional help?
Right. So according to me, what I feel is the right time to seek help, a professional help, is when you have lost control over your thoughts. You cannot control your actions. You cannot differentiate between what to do, what is right, what is wrong. That is exactly the time to consult a professional. But I would also like to make a suggestion that it shouldn't be a stigma to consult a professional, even if you just want to explore what is within you, exploring your potential, exploring your strength. A professional can help you with that.
So
as
which
well.
means not only while you are depressed or upset or down,
Yes.
but also when you want to push yourself more, when you want to take bigger challenge.
Yes.
That is also the time when you need a professional help to kind of create that mental setup. Like a Serena or a Djokovic would be requiring a strong professional help when they must be hitting the finals, right? When the entire world is watching them. Or when our cricketers are playing World Cup, or the athletes are going for Olympics. So that must be a separate kind of push, right?
It definitely is. Because not only in the finals, as professionals, you can start working when there actually is no challenge. And you build up to a level where you know that you can say max out to 100%, and then the professional gives you a 10% extra challenge where you figure out your problems, you solve your problems on your own, and you see that okay, this is my potential and I can reach up till there. So it's not just the finals when the whole pressure is onto you and the professional comes in. Actually, the professional is suggested to start working with an athlete from the beginning.
Okay. There's a very interesting blog that you have written on the same, which talks about parents' participation in the times of high performance expectation, consistent high performance of the child. Where do you see the parent being too much? How much is too much?
Being controlling is too much. Not allowing children to be in their space is too much. Telling them no is too much.
Not knowing the right time to talk.
Yes. Also, parents need to understand their children, not just from what they expect and what they want, but it is also trying to judge their mood, trying to read between the lines. So as a parent, it is quite important that you pick and choose your moments to pass down your teachings.
And your stress as well, right? Because parents are generally, even in the board exams, we generally see that, the parents are more worried that there's a board exam. The parents' life stands still for their entire, the 10th year of your education or 12th year of your education. There is a blog that you can go and read where she's mentioning these 5 special tips that help any parent to help their children in their professional career. How can people explore the blog?
So people can explore my blog. It's on my Facebook. The name is Kalna Shukla. The link for
Kalna Shukla.
Yes. So the link for the blog is on that.
Okay. So people can go and read it.
Yes.
And if there is, if somebody has some concerns, can they share it with you on your Facebook?
Definitely. The blog has a contact link where you can pour your heart out and express any difficulties that you have.
Kalna has been helping some professionals within the state. She has been helping our Ranji captain, Priyank, in her own professional capacities. How many years more for education now?
I still have about a year left for my education to finish.
And then can you come back and help the Indian athletes?
Definitely. I definitely want to come back, and I want to be there for all the athletes, all the parents, and all the coaches in the country.
We have a beautiful culture of this joint family vibe in our traditional ways of living. And if the parents or the family agrees and resonates the feeling of the child to explore the career of sports, then it is the strongest support system that we have in terms of our own culture and the country value system that we have. And as much as it can also become a hindrance, it's a huge strength that we have. And we hope that in coming years, if your children come up to you, or if you can spot the spark in them, please make sure that you let them explore, and you also explore yourself and the possibilities for the child within, without being too much. Just learn when to say it's enough. Thank you so much, Kalna, for sharing these wonderful blog with us. Please go and explore it, and if you have any feedback, let us know. If there are subjects about detox that you would want us to bring it up on this platform of my YouTube channel, let us know. Thanks. Thank you, Kalna, for being there. Bye-bye.